All right. Are you there?
We are live from New York. Yes, we can.
Oh my gosh. So Karen, we're a little late, so we will
no intro or any guys. It is so we're live. Just so you know. so hello everybody. We are going to run our intro. Karen's never seen our intro. Hello. We had technical difficulties. We're here, and here is our intro. Dennis, why did you play that? You don't play that when we have somebody like Karen on the stream. My God. I'm so sorry, Karen. I cannot believe he played that clip.
That was a great intro. I liked it.
This is why I don't let him run the show, because he always plays that hello with the boobs. And it's like, come on, Dennis, save that when we have male pig guests.
Well, I felt empowered.
We did not have internet problems like that. We were getting some connection difficulties. Karen Whitfield is our special guest, our Bronze Age Batgirl. She's joining. She's on location. She's on her way to a convention. So she is doing this from her hotel room. So guys, we all know how it works, trying to get things set up in a hotel room to broadcast. So we are just thankful we were able to work through it. So Karen,
and I got to ask, are you holding your phone?
I am.
Oh my God, your hand is going to get so tired. I feel so bad. I have
a table here that I can rest my elbow on, so it's okay. I'm Batgirl. She can do anything, right?
Okay.
I have to swing across buildings, so I have to hold my arms and hands up a lot.
There you go.
That's true. That's true.
We have problems with the, she's got a tablet that we were going to do it on, which would have been much easier, but the tablet was having all kinds of problems. So, you know what? We found a way. Thank you guys for hanging out for a little bit and sticking with it. And we are so very glad to have you on and that we were able to get everything working.
Thank you, guys.
That's right.
I'm so glad it finally worked out after what? I met you guys in 2021.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was in Georgia. It was at that convention in Georgia.
Yeah, it was Savannah.
It was.
Savannah. Yes.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
I think it was August 2021, I believe.
July. I think it was end of July.
Maybe it was. It was hot. I know that.
So yeah, we were set up and Karen wound up being our neighbor. We had never met her before. And it was your very first convention, right?
Yeah. Well, I had Fayetteville Comic-Con first. That was June 2021. That was the first one since 1985. And I've never been to a convention shows and things like that. But yeah, so when I was asked to go to Savannah, I was so excited about it, and I had just been out. So I think it was my second or third one, actually.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And
I didn't know anything. I was really nervous. I was new at it. So it was pretty fun to sit beside you guys. You really, you helped me with that process. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah, because you weren't by yourself. You had your whole family with you.
Yeah, I had my son and his wife, which was a lot of fun. They traveled with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, very cool. I want to pull up the website. I'm going to share the link too. And we have our friend in the chat, Randy Howell, who shares links a lot for guests and stuff. So I'm going to share this one as well, because people can find out more about you there afterwards and stuff. But, for new guests, Dennis, you know what we do. So Take it away, my friend.
Yeah, one of the things we always like to do, Karen, for our first timers is we kind of like to get your superhero origin story. So, how did you get involved and become Batgirl? Because this is a great story, everybody.
Well, I didn't realize I was destined for the role, the character. But now that it happened, I'm really excited that it did. I was sort of in the right place at the right time. It was needed. A Bronze Age Batgirl was needed because of 1977 was the Batman Adventures that was playing on television, and that was February of 1977. And Burt Ward and Adam West was traveling as Batman and Robin, and they were sort of promoting that series that was out, and it was 10 years after the show had ended, the Batman show. And what happened, I was working at the Hertz Rental Car Agency in Raleigh, North Carolina, and Burt Ward happened to come in the city, and he was doing a appearance in Durham, North Carolina, and I had met him pretty briefly. And then he came back and we spoke, and the story that I'm going to leave out now is in my book.
Oh, that's fine.
In my book, and you have to actually read that. You can buy it from me. It's Bat Driven West from me directly, or at a Comic-Con I'm at, or comic store, or on Amazon. They have it. But anyway, moving.
Oh, I was going to ask, is there all right, so I'm going to remove this real quick. I'm going to find it on Amazon so I can post the link.
Yeah.
So.
And then
you keep telling us the story.
Randy already did. Look at that.
Oh, never mind. Okay, well, Randy, you are the man. There is a link to the book, so you can buy Karen's book. So there you go. Okay.
So moving forward with that, in December of 1977, 2 days after Christmas, I moved to California, and I started traveling with Burt Ward and Adam West. January, I went with Burt. He did I believe it was a car show to just as Robin. And then in March, I met Adam West. And that was an interesting meeting, the first time meeting Adam. It was pretty fun. And then in July, I started suiting up, and that was in 1978 as the Bronze Age Batgirl. It might have been June as the Bronze Age Batgirl. So I guess I was being trained of how it all works and traveling with them and so forth. It was a lot of fun. It was. And I, watched the show when I was 9 years old, and, just fell in love with Batgirl, which was Yvonne Craig. And I'd say that she's my Bat Queen. And then, and then just traveling with them and learning the story and learning who the Bronze Age Batgirl was in the comics, and just having, just being part of that role, just being part of that legacy and learning all about it. It was a lot of fun. So like I said, since they were looking for a Bronze Age Batgirl, and I met Burt, maybe I had that look, and, they talked to DC Comics. He talked to DC Comics, and they hired me to be that. And I was, from 1978 to like 1985, I was the Bronze Age Batgirl and traveled with them all over the country.
Now, did you make the costume? Like, where'd the costume come from?
It was made. DC Comics had it made.
Oh, really? So they had it specific. Obviously, they had it tailored and stuff. So
yeah.
You had to go in for like a fitting and stuff.
Yes,
I assume.
I had to get a fitting, and they
really.
Yeah. So yeah, it was just beautifully. It was just beautiful. And when I put that suit on the first time, I felt very empowered. I felt a complete transformation just to look at yourself in a superhero suit, and then putting on the cowl and the cape. It was just surreal to see myself like that. And I traveled with them, watching them go from Adam West and Burt Ward to Batman and Robin right in front of me. And it was just amazing to see that too. And then to see how all the fans reacted to them, because it was just 10 years after the show had ended, and there were long lines and a lot of people.
I was going to ask, so it was 10 years after, and I guess, so both those guys were still in, fit enough shape to fit into their costumes and stuff?
Yeah.
Really? I
Yeah.
assume Burt Ward would be because he was younger, but I mean, I don't know if Adam West in those 10 years, because it's not like Adam West was like super young when he did Batman anyhow. I mean, what?
Yeah.
I don't even know. Do you know how old Adam West was when he played Batman? Do you
Well,
have any
I
idea?
know when I met him, he was 49 and Bert was 32, and I was just 20. And so that was 10 years
Okay.
before that. So he was 39, Adam was, playing Batman. And, they had the
Yeah,
show for 3 years. And Bert was
sure.
21 when he was Robin.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
That's cool. And then, so obviously, just looking at these pictures, we know when you go to shows, you usually take the costume and stuff and have it set up behind you. And I
well, not
remember at the
always.
first,
Not
what's that?
always. Not
No,
always.
right.
I take it to some shows if they want me to bring it, and then I even suit up at some shows. It depends on what they'd like and what they feel like their fans would like from the promoters. And a lot of
Oh,
times
okay.
that the first year, the first first year and a half I did this, I did take the suit. You're right, and I had people take
Yeah.
pictures with it, and then sometime I might suit up for photo ops. But then after I received my retractable banner, I decided to take that instead, because
Oh,
having
sure.
to suit out every single con, I've done like 62 since June 2021. You get little fingers on it, and people
Oh,
want
yeah.
to stand next to it and touch it and feel it, and I thought to keep it safe and keep it preserved, then I would just take the retractable. But the one I do take is the second one ever made. The first one that was made is in a it's like a case. That's a treasures. 45-year-old treasure. So the one you see there, that
Right.
is the second one ever made. Now the cowl is the original cowl that I wore. That I take around with me. And I just had Chuck Williams. He makes the incredible Adam West Batman 66 suit. He just made me a cowl, which is really nice of him to do that. So I wouldn't keep wearing the original cowl because it's been worn many, many times,
Yeah.
and you can see where
Is this
it's
the one? You notice I don't know if you can see it. This is the picture from Savannah.
Yeah,
And
see,
when we were in there, that is the costume you're talking about, right?
yeah, that's the second one ever made, and no one would even know that's not the original because it looks exactly like the original. But the cowl
Well,
is
that was I want to ask you. So the original costume, I'm assuming, then DC was like, no, that's ours,
no,
right?
they
Or they let you keep it?
yeah, I've got it. Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's nice.
Is it
Yeah.
just worn a little bit, or they just wanted something new, or what did they do?
Well, I can't wear that one because I was like 95 pounds, 100 pounds, and I'm not that now. It's stretched.
Yeah, but my thing is, so once you got done, touring and stuff in the 80s, DC never said
no,
we want it back.
No,
they were just like, keep
That
it.
is cool.
Yeah. Because Bert kept his and Adam kept his.
Oh, yeah.
All the people, characters back then, which wasn't many. Think about that. Everybody kept them. Now the characters now, I'm sure they don't. They have to return those, or maybe they do. I don't know, but yeah, I kept it, and it's really a cool. It's very, very cool, and she's pretty cool, that suit.
No, that's cool.
They didn't make you a Batgirl motorcycle to keep?
No, I never got a motorcycle. I think Yvonne Craig, she had one in the 66 show, but no, I never got a motorcycle. However, there's a Barbie that was created in 2002. She's in a Barbie Batgirl box that has her own motorcycle, and it's really cool. And she's also in a box that has, batarangs and a little suitcase. So yeah, they even made a Barbie out of the character that I'm wearing, the suit that I'm wearing.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah.
So, Randy Howell, I know you're on your phone. You might not be able to read it, so we'll read it for you. Randy Howell says or asks, do you know if there's any video clips from back then of you doing an appearance or?
Well, honestly, there should be, and there probably are. But what happened when I left in 1985 and moved back home from California to North Carolina, I would just really miss
Mhm.
home a lot. And I feel like I wanted to make a decision to go back to see if I wanted to stay and live in California forever. If I want to go back to North Carolina, I need to make that decision. So I decided to go back to North
Sure.
Carolina, made the decision to stay. And we didn't have cameras back there. There wasn't, I don't even know if we had video cameras. I have no idea, but we did have, Polaroid and these large,
Sure.
probably cameras or videos that, newspapers and things like that have. And I'm sure they're archived. Interesting that you're asking me that, because when I was writing my first book, Batgirl West, and now I'm writing my second book, the first one, I went to as far as I could to try to find archives. And I did find some articles and some pictures. And we were in the Star magazine as well as National Enquirer. And I did find those and I put them in the book. Now, since I've been out, people are finding me, these people that are in their 40s and 50s, they're saying, oh my gosh, you're that Batgirl that, I have a picture with. So they're mailing me their pictures and I'm going to put
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they're mailing me their pictures and I'm signing it and I'm sending them a modern one of me and I'm keeping a copy to put in my second book. So, that's really been fun. And then I'm contacting some of the other cities that I remember being in and talking to them to see if they can, find the archived pictures or videos. I mean, they've got to be somewhere. But if
You
I
would
knew
think,
what I
yeah.
know now, if I knew what I knew now, I would have taken lots, I mean, and if we had these cameras like I'm holding, oh my
Oh,
gosh,
yeah.
I mean, I'd have thousands,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. When you were touring around and said, well, actually before that, so I'm actually curious, when you said you're working on a second book, what's the overall like theme of the second one compared to the first one?
Well,
Just a continuation or?
I'm working on a few projects actually. So I'm working on a second edition to that book, Bat Driven West.
Oh, okay.
So the second edition, I'm adding the stories that I have in there. I'm adding more to those stories. I'm adding stories that I didn't put in there, and I'm adding more pictures and things that I'm finding now and I didn't add. Because your first book, you don't want to put everything out there. It's kind of like a teaser, right? So the
Of
second
course.
one, I am adding more things, more stories about us being together but the second that's the second edition. Now the second book I'm writing where that one left off, like people I meet in the Comic Cons that I've done, what I think about Comic Cons compared to what we were involved with, the cosplayers I've met, taking it down that road, as well as people like yourselves. I'll probably put you in there if you don't mind. So the people
I'd love, I mean, if you use this picture on screen, just crop out everything to the left of you and it'll be a fantastic picture.
Do you hear how he tries to get rid of me and everything?
I know he doesn't want the cheese head in there. What's wrong with that?
Oh, good Lord, no. No.
Well, hold on.
I mean, it was bad enough that Dennis wanted to try your costume on, and I was like, seriously, dude, leave her alone. You can't get your leg into the torso of that costume. So,
but I mean, so I'm going to write with the people that I've met at the beginning of the Comic-Con world that I've went into, because I didn't even go to a Comic-Con all those years until I got back into it, because I knew once I walked into one that my heart would be back, and I needed to wait until I was ready to come back. And I'm so thankful that I did, because I've met people like you all and some really cool, nice people, and I'm taking it to what's happened and how doors have been opened since I came out. So that's the second book. And I'm hoping that's going to be done by the end of 2025, the second one. And it depends on DC, because they have to approve everything, because I do have a contract with DC Comics. So they need to approve it like they did the first one. Now I am also working on a scrapbook, which is going to be, I'm hoping by the end of this year, and it's going to be pictures that I'm finding, how scrapbooks are, with little comments under the pictures, and where people can just flip through, because some people just don't read, and I'm writing something that they can pick up and they can just look through pictures. I was also doing some modeling work when I was in California, so I might put some of those pictures in there, and just, things of my past when I was with them, as well as now, cosplaying now. I mean, that I've met people. So I might just, and then I might make a second scrapbook, with pictures moving forward, because people always love pictures, and looking through them. So
Oh yeah.
yes, that's going to be a scrapbook. I just have to decide what to name it.
Oh, very
Oh,
cool.
that's cool.
One of our viewers, and I know it's hard to see on your phone, and at some point you can go back and rewatch it. Joe picked this up with the Batman figure, and it is the Batgirl cycle from the Bronze Age. So I'm posting a couple of pictures, so that is pretty funny. I really wish we could have seen you ride that.
I know. If they had made the Batman Adventures, instead of it being animated like they did the Man 66, that might have been an opportunity, because Yvonne Craig was the Silver Age Batgirl, and she was the Batgirl that was in the show, and then I was the Bronze Age, the one that came
right
after that in the comic timeline. So yeah, and it would have been fun if she could have traveled with us. We could have had the two Batgirls there, since we were different eras, and that would have been fun. But she
you know what? I never even realized. I never even realized that you were the Bronze Age one. I just always thought that she didn't want to do it, and they were like, "Oh my God, this woman's perfect for it. She can fill that role." So, I watched the show and obviously reruns, but I didn't connect the costumes being that different and stuff. So
yeah,
that's cool that.
Actually, a bit of information. So when they had Yvonne on that 66 show, they had her come in on the last season, and they had written the comic, and I believe it was January of 1967, to introduce her to that show, which she came on in September of 1967. She should have worn the suit, like a suit like I wore. She should have worn that, because that suit was actually the one in the comic, book. However, when she was on the show, they put her in the purple and gold. And I think maybe they did that because, I don't know the true reason, but I just feel maybe because we were just getting color TV, because it was in the 60s. It's bright and happy and fun. Now, if they had had her in the original suit that the comics was drawn, then it would have been really close to Batman's colors, and you wouldn't have seen the the contrast on television. Maybe that's why they did it. But I'm really glad they did it, because I love that suit. So when I came out, I should be wearing the Bronze Age Batgirl. She has a gray suit looks just like mine, but it's a gray suit with a black cape. With a blue cape. I should be really wearing that one. But they didn't want to skip over the suit again, since they did the first time. And I'm really glad that they didn't, because, I was able to wear it, and I just love it. So that's how that all works.
Oh, that's cool.
That is cool. So we all know, because we're nerds, and I've got a question for all you real comic nerds out here. The first appearance of Batgirl was in Detective 359. You see it all over the walls and stuff like that. But that would have been, I think, 1967.
Yes.
Now, your costume is the Bronze Age. Do you know what the first appearance in the comic books is of that? If not, does anybody in the chat?
Well, I know on the Batman series, it was 1977 in February that year on the Batman mini animated series. It was on television. So, and the comics, I believe it was around that same time. So in the comics.
So it would have been right around 1970.
Well, the Bronze Age era is 1970 to 1985, I believe, in the Bronze Age era. And that's why when she was Batgirl, she was in the Silver Age in 1967, 68 she was. So, Yvonne. So I think, I think honestly, it started in 1970 to 1985, maybe. Yeah.
I'm not sure, but this is This is the first appearance of her right there. So
Yep, that would be 359. And like I said,
yep,
that is
because
a
they
very
just
popular book that everybody wants. I even think they
Right.
just did a facsimile.
That's the
not
first
long ago,
one
didn't
by
they?
Carmen.
they did. Yep, they did a facsimile edition of it. So guys like me who don't want to shell out the big bucks for their original can get the facsimile copy. So not
Which
all of
was
us can be
really
like
cool.
Dennis and be buying these original things.
Which was really cool, though, Angie, saying that, because Toys R Us, I believe, is on that book, and Toys R Us are no longer around, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Right?
Now,
Yeah.
do you own a copy of this book at least, or no?
Yes.
Oh,
Do you?
Yeah. And
An
honestly,
original copy is what he's asking.
yes.
Yeah,
I
an
do.
original copy.
And I do. And honestly, if I had known what I do now, I would have bought lots of them. Back then I would have bought lots of them, but, in 1967, I was only 10 years old, but they were still around. You could buy them back then, when I came out to be with them. I'm sure they were still around that we could buy somewhere, and they would have been a whole
So
lot.
did you actually buy this when it came out?
No,
Roughly,
I did buy that later. Yes, I did buy that
Oh,
later.
okay.
I wish I
Yeah,
did.
yeah,
I wish, that had
Yeah,
happened.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Oh, that's really cool. That's really cool. Yeah, I mean, I it's great that you got to be the first one. It's not like this was on TV or anything, and you got to wear it first. Did you have to color your hair at all to match, or because
Well,
obviously I see your hair color now, but in the pictures on the website from back then, it's darker like this.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
what's the real Karen? What are we talking about here? I'm so confused.
Is there? I thought that's the mystery of Batgirl. Is there one? I mean,
Oh,
that's it.
He's got a secret identity.
The secret identity, right? No,
but actually,
so,
now that I'm thinking about it, in the
so-
costume, you would know this. I don't really know. In the comic books, is it a wig that Batgirl wears in the comics, or is that a real hair sticking out of the back?
Well, now with Yvonne, that was the wig. In the comics, it's real hair.
It is.
So
Okay.
yeah, and so when I was given the suit, it did have this red hair. It was like,
Did it really?
I mean, if you could,
Yeah.
if you really look at this cowl that I have now, I mean, that was created back in, 1978. So it had
Sure.
red hair like stapled to it. It was really
Yeah.
weird. And so I pulled it off, and my hair was dark, darker. But within time, it was starting to light up. And if I had stayed with it, I probably would have, worn a red wig myself, and I just had not yet. So now when I suit up, I do have a red wig that I wear, and so it looks different. So I look different. I just don't have the blonde hair hanging out, because then I would look like Stephanie Brown. Stephanie Brown in the comics had blonde hair. So that's why I wear the red wig like Barbara Gordon. She had red hair. So
Yeah. Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
That
That's
is.
any come on, you gotta tease us. You gotta
And-
tell some story with Adam
and-
West and Burt Ward.
and that
that's
that picture that you have there, I was really on top of a building. The one on top.
Were you really?
Look, I was really on top of a building, the one on top, and Bert is standing to my right, and the sun was out that day. The wind was kind of blowing a little bit. My hair, I mean, I should have pulled it around, because it's a lot more fuller than that picture looked. But I looked down, and and I'm like, okay, Batgirl doesn't have her, swing on. She doesn't have a net below her. She doesn't have even a mattress you see in movies. And I looked at Bert. I said, Bert, if I fall off this building, you're coming with me. Oh no,
Yeah.
you got this, Karen. You got this. You got this, Batgirl. Just let's.
Well, I
get
mean,
these
how
pictures
high
done."
up was it?
It was high. I mean, it seemed like. I mean, so the camera, the photographer, zoomed in some, because it was. I mean, it was at least 3 stories. You
could have just stood on a 1-story building. Nobody'd be able to tell. I had no idea you were on a real building in this
Yeah.
photo.
I didn't either.
So
I would not have looked down. I hate height. So just putting my foot up there when you said you looked down, I would have been like, nope, I will look ahead. I refuse to look down.
I was 20. I was 21 there, I believe. 21 in that picture. So I think maybe I'm saying three stories. It might have been one story, but it felt like it was three stories.
Sure.
It felt like it was 10 stories. It felt so high,
Oh, wow.
know.
Wow.
But any fun story I could tell. I mean, everybody asked me, we had a lot of fun. I was so young. I was just 20 years old. I was from North Carolina. I'd never been away from home before. I was still living at my parents' home, and just being able to travel out there and that shortly, not really knowing them, and I was pretty brave. I was pretty fearless for that age to be able to do that. And I know now, the people, the teenagers and the 20-year-olds now, they're more adventurous than we were back then. But just to be able to do that and trust the situation, I felt like, with them in DC, my parents felt comfortable with it, and I knew I could always come home. But just being with them, I will tell you, I will not be the same. I would not be the same today if I was not with if I had not traveled with them and been with them, because I grew up pretty fast, but yet I was very, it was very secure. It was very, watched over, and it was just a lot of fun to be a part of them and that legacy, and to know that I actually did that. And now looking back on my life all those years, I think, wow, I actually did that, and it was just so fun. And I would do it all over again. But yet I would journal and write stories down. I would take more pictures, but I never thought I'd come back to it. Once I left home and I had my children, I never thought in a million years I'd come back out. But I'm really glad I did. And I had to really surface in my brain and in my heart to remember some of the stories that I remembered. And now that I've been out, I remember even more. So, but it was a lot of fun. And I want to tell, everybody, I know on phones you can make messages and you have all the pictures to remind you, but you might not remember everything. You should write things down that happens to you that's fun. And you might want to write a book about it one day, So, but yeah, so everybody asked me the first question, like in my panels, what was it like meeting Adam West for the first time? What was it like meeting Adam West for the first time? He made everybody laugh, and he was so fun, and he'd have these one-liners. And when I traveled with them, they really didn't know him that well yet. They knew as Batman in the show, but they didn't know who he really was as a person, as a human being at that point. And of course, through the years, they've got to know him. But, he was suited up. I mean, can you imagine traveling with Adam West and Burt Ward suited up? I mean, out there in the world and having these little live performances for like 5 or 10 minutes, and then sit down and sign autographs for hours. And it was really fun and surreal, and just to see him interact with people. And he taught me a lot how to be patient and how to not get upset when things didn't go our way. Like, sometimes we might be left at the airport for a while. Sometimes we, things happen. And I never saw Adam West mad or angry about anything. He always had a bright side. And that's why we call him the Bright Knight, because he really was bright. He was a bright knight. He was fun. He was happy. He was just jovial and always made jokes. And then Burt, Burt is very business. He's a very business type character. He taught me a lot about, like, on my table. And now that I do, he taught me a lot about business. And, he's definitely, he was definitely in his box, and Adam was not, but yet they could play off of each other like you guys do. I mean, they would banter like you guys do. They'd play off of each other.
Oh, so one of them always put the short end of the stick.
I know.
What the hell are you talking about?
It was really, but the first time meeting Adam, so Bert and I were in LA. Adam was traveling in from I think Portland, Oregon, where he lived. I know he grew up in Walla Walla, Washington, but I believe he was living in Portland, Oregon at the time. And he flew into Dallas to meet us, and we were going to take a flight together from Dallas on, and I think it was Little Rock, Arkansas. But we couldn't get in. It was pouring down raining. I mean, the flights canceled. We couldn't go. So they had rented a limo, and it was probably 4 or 5 hours. And here I am sitting in the back seat with Adam West and Bert. And, and we walked up to Adam, and Bert introduced us, and he took my hand, and, well, hello, Karen. He's this, good looking, tall, what was he, 6'2", I believe, and just a very debonair man. I mean, he really does remind me of Bruce Wayne. He really did, and, and I saw him as Bruce Wayne when I was a little girl, and then Batman. So, just to step out from that and be standing there and just having to be a part of that was just pretty cool. So then we get in the limo in the back seat, and they had the music. The limo driver had the music piped in, and I'll never forget this as long as I live. And Adam was singing to the music, but he was changing the words, to something else. And and Bert's over there, looking at the papers and figuring out what we're doing and what we're, who we're meeting, and he was going through all the business. And then of course Adam would make Bert laugh, and Bert has this infectious laugh. He just would laugh so hard he would cry at Adam. So, it was just really fun. And Adam, I think he knew I was probably nervous and, being in that situation, and he made it very light and just, safe, and, letting me know that, hey, everything's going to be okay. Don't worry. So I never did.
That's
I
cool.
never
You said
worried.
something that made me wonder, because you got discovered and you were going to be part of the team, and then you moved from our neck of the woods all the way out to California. Now, did you have to do that part of the contract, or did you just decide it would be a great move and a fun time? I'm curious.
Now you're making me open up my book.
Oh.
Yeah, but you want people to buy it. You got to give some tidbits out here,
Well, I went out there to be actually to grow and be a part of the life out there, and just to see, what it's like, and just to take that step of faith, and just to, I thought, why not just go out there and travel? Of course, Bert and I became very fast friends. Yes, we became very fast friends. and I just one thing happens and leads to another, and next thing you know, I'm Batgirl. So
wow.
Yeah. So it was an ordeal for 3 months to try to decide if that's what I'm going to do. And yes, if I traveled with them as Batgirl, I probably needed to be out there because of flights,
Oh yeah.
Andy, our manager, he would have had to get flights from North Carolina and Portland and California, and just, it made it a lot easier to be out there, and also to be with them, be a part of that, be a part of all that Hollywood scene, to be a part of, just be in that role, to be back in North Carolina. I mean, it was North Carolina was very different then than it is now as well. So very, a lot smaller, and, but yeah, it was fun. I mean, I made a huge decision, and will never regret it. And, it was hard to leave it and come back home. But I felt like, I wanted to have children one day, and I didn't want to really raise children in in California. I wanted them to be raised, in the South where I was from. And I'm from a huge family, and I missed my family a lot. And now if we had FaceTime, we had things like this that we could talk to each other. We didn't even have answering machines,
Oh yeah.
it was nothing like it is now, and there wasn't a lot of air flights. So, I just needed to make that decision. When I did, I came back home and never went back out there. One
of our esteemed viewers comments says, Dick Grayson did have a relationship with Batgirl. Just saying.
He did. He did. Yes, he did. So was the comics first, or did I go out there first? I mean, you just, you never know. So, but, also, when writing the book, when I contacted DC Comics and let them know I was writing the book and I wanted to come back, they opened arms. They had open arms for me to return. They were really excited, but they did ask me to make sure there was no Me Too situation going on. This, 49-year-old man, 32, and this 20-year-old. Was there any Me Too? And I said, absolutely not. It was,
sure.
it was real. It was fun. It was nothing, any blaming anybody for anything or anything like that. So no way.
Yeah, well, I know you have a very busy schedule. Karen and I have been trying to find a way to get her on the show for quite some time now, but you're really into the Comic-Con scenes and doing all of that. Every time I talk to you, or luckily we get to still see each other every once in a while at a show. Yeah. Matter of fact,
you guys are like my family. I met you when I first got out. So, every time I see you guys, I just love it, and people that I did see in the beginning, especially on the East Coast, when I'm back there, I see a lot of the same people, and it's like a family reunion. Now here, this is my third time at this Comic-Con. So now I'm going to know people here this time. And then there's 5 actresses and that's here that I've been at Comic-Cons with this time. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
What show are you at right now?
At AllCon. It's at AllCon.
Where's that?
In Dallas, Texas. And it's at the International Hilton Hotel.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for all of you that are watching this right now, if you're thinking, gee, I'm pretty near Dallas, you could actually meet Karen this weekend.
Yes.
You could.
I mean,
she is where America's team is located, Dennis.
Green Bay,
the Dallas
Wisconsin?
Cowboys. No. And by the way, somebody said, Randy Howell said Andy is the Riddler. Well, I'll have you know, I did dress up as the Riddler when we went and saw the original Batman in 1989. Look at that. Look at that fine gentleman there in his green question mark outfit.
So you were wearing a wig, I'm assuming, back
no.
at that point.
Oh my goodness, Andy.
Like Karen was 20 when she was Batgirl, and I was 20 when I did that. Well, my birthday's late in the year, as most people know, so technically I was 19 still, but I turned 20 later in the year.
That is awesome. So. I would have picked you as Mr. Freeze.
Andy, who would have ever thought we would have met? And here, you dressed as the Riddler, and you did a great job.
I know.
But speaking of that, I met all of them. I met all the characters. The only one I didn't meet was Lee Merriweather and Julie Neimark, and of course, Eartha Kitt. So I don't know if they were just afraid to meet, the Bronze Age Batgirl or what. But those 3 I didn't meet, but everyone else I did, which was really cool to be able to say I did that.
God, now I'm trying to. I know this is awful of me, and you can shame me. Dennis can too, but my memory's awful. Who did Lee Merriweather play?
She was Catwoman in the 1966 movie. The one with the shark repellent. They were in the
yep.
The shark and all that. She was Catwoman.
Yeah, I wonder why they cast a different actress for that movie. Do you have any idea why, or did you ever?
No, I don't.
No.
And there were 2 Catwomen in the 66. It was Eartha Kitt.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so I don't know why they did. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's a good question. I wished I had asked that many years ago, or we might. Somebody knows. I'm sure.
I was just going to say somebody will know. So if you guys do know, leave it in the comment. If you watch it later, leave a message in the YouTube video, and we will always pass that information along because we do love trivia.
Oh,
we do.
And I have to say, everybody, the viewers that's viewing. So the first time I met Andy, and Andy and Dennis, like I said, I didn't know a lot of artists coming out. I mean, I literally lived on a farm, where there's, cows and deer and horses. I mean, and I hadn't been to any Comic Cons. I wasn't even on social media, Facebook until 2016.
Sure.
So I didn't know who you all were, and I apologize about that. But my son and I and my daughter-in-law, we got to my booth first, and we set it up and everything. And I'm looking next door at who's going to be sitting next to me, and I see Andy Smith. And Andy's the name Andy could be female too, right? I've met some Andys.
It could.
So Andy Smith, and I see this beautiful picture, this beautiful art that you drew, but I didn't know. I thought that was the character of her. So I thought this beautiful Andy Smith was going to come and sit next to me. And I said to my son, "Oh Lord, look how beautiful she is. She's going to have these long lines, and I'm not going to have anybody. They'll come over and see me because I'm sitting there, but they're going to be in her line."
You know what?
And then these two ugly guys, and then Dennis and I show up, and she's like, "What? Oh, they must be I know, you're like, those guys must be the bodyguards." That's what it is.
This is the same show, Karen. I'm showing the so
yeah, that's it.
That was Penumbra, because that was Sam Jones, because he came back. But we were sitting there, and that was her Penumbra, and that is what she's referencing. She had seen that poster and thought Andy Smith was a girl. Now we all know Andy really is a girl, but this is how she got to find out who.
Hey man, it depends on the day. I flip the coin like Two-Face. If it lands on heads, I identify as a guy that day. If it lands on tails, I identify as a girl that day. You leave me alone.
I love it, Andy. And so we're waiting, right? We're sitting there waiting, and I see you two there, and I'm like, when is she coming? I mean, is she, why is she, what's wrong? I hope everything's okay. And I think I asked you, Dennis, I said, is Andy coming? And I think you said, oh, this is Andy Smith.
You said he's right there.
I did. He's like right here.
My son is so quiet. You know that. You met him. He's very quiet.
Oh, yeah.
He looks at me and he just laughs. He looks at me and he turns his head and just laughs, It was really funny and cute. And I'm really glad it was you, Andy. I'm really glad it was you.
Sure.
Hey,
are you coming to are you coming up to the next show in Concord at the March 24th?
Yeah, I'm going to be there.
Okay, we'll be there.
Yeah, I'm going to be there. I'm excited about it because I didn't do any last year. So that's why
are you doing South Carolina Comic Con?
No.
Or no?
Oh,
no.
Okay.
No, I here's the picture of your family, because I had to have a talk with your son that day.
Yes,
you can tell that story.
and that's going to be in the book. That's got to be in the book. Do you want me to tell it real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So, he's not used to the comic characters because I didn't raise them around the comic characters, but now they're getting to it. They're excited I'm doing this. They, found out, when my daughter was 12 and my son was 9 that I was Batgirl, and they thought that was pretty cool. But still, it took still a bit before I came back out. So my son says to me, well, we want to go to Savannah because he went there for his bachelor bachelor weekend, and my daughter did too. They went, of course, 2 different times, but they both went to Savannah. So I really love Savannah. So he said, I want to come, and his, wife wanted to come with him. And so, we're sitting there, and there was a Batman that kept coming around the table. I have a lot of DC, remember, I have a lot of DC comic people and a lot of cosplayers come and rest at my table quite often because they're part of me. They're part of my character. So they hang out with this Batman. He was by himself most of the time, and he hung out a lot, and he would circle and he'd hang out. He'd circle. Okay. And my son said, Mom, I don't know what's going on with this Batman, but he needs to kind of stay away. I think he's really flirting with you. And I said, oh no, he's not. He's just being nice. He's just in the character. And I said, you notice he hasn't even broken his character. He still talks like Batman. He hasn't even broken. I don't even know. He hasn't said his real personality because he's in his Batman character. And he was really concerned. And so, and he talked about it in the hotel room that first night a lot. So the next day I came to Dennis. I said, Dennis, he was really concerned about this Batman. Do you mind talking to him? And of course, Dennis did. He said the perfect thing. My son felt a lot better after that. So it was really good. I'm glad you were sitting there, Dennis, because you were able. The things that you said to him really helped out a lot.
Well, one of the things that I just let him know, and it's true, and now that you've been out there for quite a while, you realize what I said was accurate, because we are like one big family. And
We are.
And I said, now that doesn't mean you don't always just have a little concern, because you don't know everybody. But if anything were to ever happen, we are all one big family. So we look at each other. We can walk up and leave our booth completely unwatched, because all the rest of us will take care of it, and we do it. And I remember telling him, because he was sitting there, he's like, oh, I really worry about my mother and all this. And we were talking, and I was like, you have nothing to worry about. She can take care of herself. She traveled out to California when she was younger on her own. And I said, we're all family. We are all friends. And I said, the more you're out, the more you'll get to know people, the more friends that you'll have, and the family just grows. And pretty true, isn't it?
Yeah, it's true. It's very true. And there's security guards, if you need a security. And I'll be honest with you. And like I told him, if our world was like the Comic-Con world, we'd be in a very happy place, because I've done 62 Comic-Cons, and including 4 comic stores. I've not seen one argument, one fight, anyone being upset. I mean, it's really a fun place. I mean, it's all about comics, and everybody has that common, love with it. And, and I told him, I said, you're just not used to it. If you come out with me more often, you would see you're just not used to it. You're used to the real world out there. And it's not, these villains are not they're not real villains. They're play villains that's out there. And even so, even if they were, I have people like Batman and Superman around me. That's going to help, and I'm Batgirl. Right. So, I mean, you have to play that, but I mean, but it is true. I mean, I understand, he was always protective, and he loves me, and I understand how he felt. I probably would feel the same way if I wasn't used to it, but now he's getting more used to it. And he has a 1-year-old baby, so they can't travel with me like they did
right
now.
Oh,
so yeah,
but he's much more comfortable now.
Oh, he's a lot.
I mean, part of the deal when Dennis and I do a show is Dennis knows if somebody comes up to try to rough me up or something, he's got to step in front and take the punch. If somebody comes up and pulls a knife or a gun, that's what Dennis is there for, to get right in front of me and take it.
Exactly, right? I mean,
exactly. You've seen him. The guy's a mountain. A bullet will just go. See, a bullet would do a through and through on me. It would go in and go out. If he jumps in front of it, it's not coming out the other side. Dennis is thick. It's just going to go in. He might not make it, but at least it's not going to penetrate the backside of him to get to me.
Right.
Or to be so slowed down, it will literally just bounce off my chest.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling like my tombstone's going to read, Dennis took a bullet, ... for Andy.
That's right. And then I'll have a photo of the bruise the bullet left on me as it slowed down enough when it exited you just to leave a bruise. I'll go, this would, and so the bruises fade, but I won't let it. I'll go right to a tattoo parlor and go, I want this bruise tattooed permanently so I can remember the big guy when I go visit his grave.
That's right.
Well, you know what you need to do, Dennis? At that point, then you need to hope that Sam Jones, Flash Gordon, and Karen Whitfield, Batgirl, is right there with you guys, so we can help take the bullet, right?
No, I'd push you out of the way. I'd throw Sam Jones in front of Dennis, though. See, Dennis, I care.
Yeah,
you're right. And Sam would just catch the bullet because that's just
right.
Sam.
In his teeth.
He'd catch it. He's a super nice person. If anybody can meet him, he is so nice.
Yeah.
He was a hoot to talk to. As a matter of fact, I think I met him once before, but this was the first time at this show where when he came over, I mean, we just talked. He is just a fun guy. He is a guy that I could see, you went to an after party or something like that, you'd probably be up all night just laughing with him.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Mhm.
agree. I
Mhm.
totally agree with that. He's really nice, really personable.
Yeah. No, he
Very
really
cool.
is. He's a
Well,
good guy.
I know. So you're at a show now. We're going to see you in just a couple weeks here in Charlotte, which is cool because then we'll get to talk to you. And I might even be able to bring my my niece is staying with me that weekend, so I
Oh,
might be bringing her along, and I may have to bring her over so you get to meet her. I
please
think she
do.
would love it.
Please do. I'd love to meet her. That would be awesome.
But
But
what are
yeah,
some of the other shows you got coming up so people know?
well, I'm going to be have to look at my calendar. A lot of times when am asked this question, but I could tell you what they are. So I'm going to be next. I'm going to be in. I think it's April. I'm going to be in. It's called Tammany. Anyway, I'm going to be in Louisiana.
Oh, okay.
I don't have the Comic Con name in front of me, but it's in Louisiana. I'm going there. I'm going to Hersey, Pennsylvania. I'm going
Oh,
to
cool.
Portland, Maine, and I'm going to Texas, Lubbock, Texas.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. So I'm going quite amount moving into, and I should be. I'm waiting right now to hear about San Diego Comic Con again in July. I've done that the last 3 years, so this will be my 4th time in San Diego, which will be
Where do
fun.
you sit? Where do you set up at? Where do they have you or whatever when you do San Diego?
In the autograph area in the pavilion, which is cool.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So
Nice. I haven't the last San Diego I did was 2019, and then everything got shut down, and I just really haven't had the burning desire to go back after the couple years it was shut
yeah,
down. And
yeah.
it's fun to go see people and stuff, but
That's huge.
it
That's,
it
that con is a whole
yeah.
nother animal. It's a
Oh
it,
yeah.
it's a lot of fun. I'm glad that I was, I'm honored to be invited, and I'm glad I was able to go. But they have us in the sales pavilion, and which I'm not even sure how I got in it. Renee Whittister is my agent, and I don't know. She's one of my agents, and I don't know.
Right.
I don't know how I don't know how I got in. They contacted me and they said, we understand that you would like to be in the San Diego Comic-Con. And I said, yes, I would. So they gave me the application. I completed it, and they had me come in on their mini con in November of 2021. And then they
Yep.
invited me back 2022 in July, as well as this year. In 2023. And I've already filled out the documents and stuff for 2024. So, you fill it all out. That doesn't mean you're actually going to be there,
Right.
but I've been lucky the last 3 years to be able to be there. So I hope I am. I want to go back. And when I do go back, I get to see, family and people that I know out there.
Yeah. Smokey's asking, hey, Karen, do you still work with Renee?
Yes, I do. Renee picked me up my very first Comic-Con in June 2021, and that was in Fayetteville. It was the Fayetteville Comic-Con. She was there, and so Keith Gibbs, the promoter, he told her about me, and he told me about her, so she came over to my table. So yes, I do. I'm not exclusive, but I do work with her, and she does a great job for me. And also Andrew Goodwin, I've worked with him he's also Burt Ward's agent, and
Oh, cool.
so I work with them. Yeah.
Excellent.
So I know Burt Ward is still around. When was the last time you ran into him at a show?
Oh,
Or has it been a
back
long
in
time?
Oh, that'll be in the book, Andy.
Oh, really? That's how long it's
Yes.
been? I didn't know if
I've
you crossed paths since you got back out there or not.
No,
So.
I've not seen him. A lot of people have asked for us to be in the same, some cons together, but that has not happened. But I do, very close with his family, like his daughter, very close with her. She's, she's 9 years younger than me. No, wait a minute.
Mhm.
Yeah, 9 years younger than me. And his granddaughter and grandson. His granddaughter has come to see me in North Carolina 4 times. So I'm really close with her and
Oh,
her
cool.
family.
That's awesome.
So yeah, so it's really it's nice to be able to be still in contact with the family.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's real
Well,
cool because Bert's got to be. Is he 80?
No,
Or
he'll be
wait.
79 in July.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. He'll be
Wow.
wait a minute, let me see. Yeah. He'll be 79 in July. Yeah. And well, he's our canine crusader, right? He's our canine crusader. So he's in Riverside and he has a ranch out there, and he has lots of these great big dogs, Great Danes, and huge dogs. And he and his wife Tracy, they have a they rescue dogs and adopt them out. And then he has a dog food company called Gentle Giant, and they also have a cat food company that they've recently created. And so this Gentle Giant dog food makes these older dogs live a lot longer. So we call him our canine crusader. So he's really busy with that too.
That's awesome.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah.
I always wondered, like, what he did afterwards, because I'm sure, obviously back then with Batman running for just 3 years, it's not like the deals that people make now in TV where you can do a show for 3 years and then, they do reruns and you're just seeing a constant check. He probably doesn't see crap from reruns. I mean, I don't know.
Right. Exactly.
I can't imagine.
They did a lot of the shows. That's why they did a lot of, car shows and things like that. When we did, when Comic-Con started, first, Comic-Con started in people's basements or garages, but when they finally, started getting out, I mean, they started going to the big Comic-Cons, and that's when, Yvonne has traveled. Lee, I believe, traveled to Comic-Cons, and I know Julie Neimark has. So, and she still is. She's still doing some Comic-Cons. Julie is right now.
Holy crap.
Yeah. And I think she's in her like 87, maybe something like that.
Yeah, I was going to say she's got to be.
Well.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's doing really well.
That's cool. They're saying, we need to get you to come out to Greenville. So, if
I want to.
There you go. You got to
show.
talk to one of your agents and try and make that happen, because we always have a good time in Greenville.
Yeah, I want to. And I email a lot of people too. And I tell people, if you want to see me, I mean, they listen to fans, these promoters will listen to fans. So you can write into them, tell them who you want to see, your local comic store or Comic-Con. And trust me, I'll come unless I have another one going on. I'll come because I love to travel. I love to meet the fans. I love to be a part of this legacy again. And, meeting people like you guys, and it's just a lot of fun. I mean, and my kids love it because then they don't have to worry about their, like, oh gosh, mom's coming this weekend to be with us. And, I mean, I'm teasing. We have a great relationship, actually, my kids and I. But yeah, so it's a lot of fun. It's keeping me younger, and moving and keeping that little girl in my heart. So yeah, I love all of them, and I want to do it as long as I can, because we don't know how long we have, right? I mean, physically and mentally. So I'm trying to do as many as I possibly can, and and I've come out of my bat cave with a vengeance. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, we got a question. When Adam, Bert, and you were on stage basically together, what was your role? Did you help them solve a crime, or did you have skits that you did, or what did they have you do?
Yeah, it was really small. So we'd come out of the back, like we're like we're flying. I would just wish I could see some of these videos, like flying, sort of coming out on this little platform. A lot of times they would have, and we would do like these little skits. We'd Bert would do the pals in the sock. He wouldn't have the words written up in the sky, but he'd say it. He would have his holy words he would say, and and Adam would do some kind of nothing was planned. It was all impromptu. And of course it took me a bit because I was kind of shy, I was young, and then I got into it, and I'd sort of play along with whatever they would do, and you know, and then it was probably like just 5 minutes, maybe. And then we would, it would be a long table, and Adam would be first and Bert in the middle, and then I would be at the end. And so everybody would see Adam first. And, you know, he did enjoy talking to his fans, and, you know, he would, he would treat the last one like it was the first one. And he would always ask them questions and tease with his fans. And you know, and of course, Robin would say, "Come on, Batman. Batgirl wants to meet the fans too." He'd always put it on me. Batgirl wants to meet the fans. Let's move along the line. Let's move along the line. Because Adam was, I mean, Bert was like our business sense of us, right? And
Sure.
he had to keep us, you know, gathered and moving. So, you know, and just, you know, that, and so we just signed autographs. It felt like hours, you know. I don't even know if we had any really breaks back then, you know, as I can remember. You know, we just signed, and we always had lines, and it was so much fun. After the shows, we'd go to dinner, and the promoters, they'd take us out to dinner.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and a lot of times it would be in these small towns, and they would have heard that we were coming. But, you know, when you're in a restaurant, you don't realize that these people are going to be walking in. And these were like small restaurants, you know, the local restaurants. And, you know, we'd walk in, and definitely we were strangers, but they didn't put two and two together until we'd sit there and talk. And then they would hear the voices. It was always the voices that would get people more so than even their, you know, faces too. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And, you know, Adam liked to tease with the waitresses and have fun. And, you know, it was really cool. It was really a lot of fun. Yeah.
That's cool. Well, I tell you what, we usually go about an hour, so we're not going to keep you.
Because you've been building up your muscles, because you've had to hold your phone this entire time.
Well,
That's right.
I can hang out. It's whatever you want to do. It's fine. I mean, I'm good. You know, unless you wanted to end, or, you know, it's up to you guys. Does anybody else have any more questions? But,
Yep.
Oh yes.
I mean,
Okay.
if people ask, we'll shoot them your way. You know, it's funny. I didn't realize. So I do a show on Tuesday nights with some other guys, and, you know, we stream to multiple platforms, so YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, all at the same time. And I never knew you could look to see who's watching where. I have the bulk of the people are watching on Twitter, believe it or not.
Really?
Not YouTube. Yeah.
Really, Twitter? I would have not guessed that.
And
The
I'm
bulk of
not
the
even
people
on
are
Twitter.
watching on I should say X.
Yes.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Well, Dennis, you see the same screen I do. So all you gotta do is hover over the number up top left.
Oh,
Because you see that too, right? Just hover over it and you can see.
well, son of a gun! Look at that.
I know. I was like,
I learn
because
stuff
Graham
every day.
last
Wow.
night on the show I do with some buddies on Tuesday nights, it's a rotating show, Karen. So there's 6 of us, and every week it's on somebody else's network.
Nice.
And it was on this friend of ours, Graham. It was on his last night, and he did that, and he had the Tuesday night show. We get a lot of traction, so he had, I think, over 400 some on Twitter, and then just a few hundred, you know, less than half on YouTube. And I was just amazed, because I just figured it would be, you know, YouTube was still the big one. But
No.
all right, anyhow, did they ever talk about you being on the Justice League live show during the 70s and early 80s?
No.
What live show? There was no Justice.
No, that would have been
You know what he's
fun.
talking about, Dennis?
No.
I
No,
remember
actually
seeing.
don't think.
Yeah, I remember, Joe, you got to explain yourself, because I remember seeing like a really, like, I remember the guy from, I can't remember the actor from MASH, but it was the stuffy doctor from MASH that shared the tent with Hawkeye.
Winchester.
Right. And he
David
was
Allen.
Martian Manhunter.
Okay.
I believe it was him that was Martian Man. Well, remember there were 2 stuffy guys that were in MASH. Did you ever watch MASH, Karen?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so there were 2 stuffy guys that roomed with Hawkeye, and oh my God, what's the other dude's name now that was with Hawkeye? Because Hawkeye was Alan Alda.
There was McIntyre, or Trapper John, depending on if it was early or late.
Oh yeah, that's right. They rotated those guys too.
Yeah,
Hawkeye was the only constant. Okay, so Joe says there was
Legends
a Hawkeye
of Superheroes.
There was a Justice League movie that they did. It had Adam and Bert. I don't remember that. Did it actually air?
I don't
And
remember
yeah,
that
Burns,
either.
Frank Burns.
I don't remember that.
Hold on.
I don't either.
Huh. What year was
Yeah,
that?
that's weird. Yeah, what year was that, Joe? Or Dennis, are you looking it up?
Yep.
Legends.
Oh. Whoop. Oh.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is. Oh. It's wonky. Legends of the Superheroes, 1979.
And that's right. That was right in the beginning of when I was out there. So I don't know.
Adam West. There was only 2 episodes. Adam West was Batman, obviously. There's Bert. Let's see, retired man.
Wow.
Howard Murphy was Green Lantern.
Wow.
Garrett Krieg was Captain Marvel. Wow.
Is there no Martian Manhunter?
Black Canary. Ruth Buzzy was Aunt Minerva.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, and
dude, is there a trailer? You got to find the trailer.
Oh my goodness. I don't remember this at all. I don't remember that.
No, I don't either. And Barbara Joyce was the Huntress, but they got Frank back to be the Riddler.
And I was out there then, so I don't know. I don't know if they would have had me or Yvonne, since Yvonne was in the movie. So I just don't know.
Look at that Sinestro.
Wow.
Oh my God. That's like Saturday Night Live looking stuff right there.
Yeah.
Look at that. Wow. Now, I am usually really good with this type of stuff. I don't remember this at all, which means I wouldn't have seen it, because if I had seen it, I would remember. Oh, look at that.
Wow.
There he is.
And there's Bert.
There he is. Oh, Bert's hair looks a little bit longer there.
There's
he had longer,
Canary. There's the Flash. Oh my goodness. Look at
the
that.
Huntress.
Hawkman.
See, look at that. Hawkman, even everybody else is wearing spandex, which shows everything, because Hawkman didn't have a shirt on. They're like, we better cast somebody that's built. Nobody else they care about. That's spandex. Who cares?
Green Lantern. Now, see, that's a good Captain Marvel right there.
Yeah, but that's not the Captain Marvel from the TV show, is it?
Nope. Let's just see. So yeah, 2 episodes. So it ran for a whole whopping 2 episodes. But with that being said,
see, I don't even remember.
I never knew that.
I don't even remember it. So I don't know.
No.
And I don't know.
Wow.
I know. Taught us all something.
See,
I bet it's on YouTube.
We have the best nerdum out there, because
Yeah.
when you think, boy, you know most everything, somebody whips out something. This is like the Star Wars holiday special. It just hits you over the head. And it's got an IMDb rating of 5.4, which means it was not that great. But it was the 70s on a low budget.
And it was better than Madam Web. So
it still was better than Madam Web, yes.
Yeah. Have you made it to any movies lately, Karen? Do you go to movies? What do you do in your free time?
I love movies, but I haven't been to one recently. But I love movies. I'm trying to think the last one I saw. Gosh, I've not been to one recently. I know I saw.
Well, what about just on like TV? Because I mean, there's so much streaming stuff now. You don't even have to go anywhere.
Oh, what am I? I just saw Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer.
Oh, did you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Friday night. I just saw that for the first time, and it was so
I love
good.
that.
Yeah, it was so good. I mean, I watched it with my brother-in-law and my sister, and he was in the military and he's all about that kind of stuff. So I'd say, stop it for a minute. Let me ask you this question. So the first half, it took me a bit to really get everything, but then last half, it was so good. I mean, it was just a good movie. I'm glad I saw it, because I didn't know a lot of that history. I'd heard about it, but I didn't know a lot of it. It was. Oh,
Dennis lived through it. Dennis could tell you all about it. He tried to get tickets to go out to see the actual test blasts they did, but plane flights were a little expensive back then. He couldn't really afford it. So
I do a lot of traveling. We
I
are
know.
hitting our last two state capitals this summer. But if you're wondering, yes, I have been down to the Moab, all of that stuff. I have visited it all. I do. I absolutely love that type of stuff. And we visit all of the military, the battleships. I've stayed overnight on battleships and carriers and diesel subs from World War II, and absolutely love that type of history. And we are going to go. They actually have the city and everything that, still parts of it up there where they built all of this. So that is going to be one of my big trips, is to go out there to take the full tour and the bunkers and everything.
That would be fun. That would be very interesting and fun. And the history behind that, just to be a part of it, it's pretty surreal, I would think.
Yeah. Loved Oppenheimer. I thought it was just absolutely fantastic. Andy and I had done our predictions for, for the Oscars. And I really was hoping that it was going to take a lot of it. And I am surprised it took way more than what I thought. And I was very happy to see it because I love the movie.
Yeah, they did such a good job with it.
It's funny because, you've got what? You said 2 state capitals left? Is that how many?
Yeah, I got 2 left.
So Dennis has 2 out of 50 state capitals to visit.
Wow.
And who would have guessed way back in his high school yearbook under his photo when he had it say, I aspire to visit all 50 state capitals.
He said
and when everybody read that and said, wow, way to aim for the stars, loser.
Wow.
That he was like, I'll show you. And it's only been
and he's done it.
2 left since he graduated 36 years ago. So suck on that, you guys that made fun of him. He did it.
That's right. I'm so proud of you, Dennis. Oh my gosh. That's
way awesome. To aspire. Reach for that gold ring of saying, I'm going to visit every state capital, damn it.
That's right. That's right.
I know. I do love to go visit that type of stuff. When we went over to France, we did all the World War II. We walked the beaches of Normandy and Juno, and we do want to go back.
Juno, you told me.
When I went over to England and stuff, we had a blast. I did a lot of the touring of stuff in London. But they do have World War II full-blown tours where they will take you through all the important sites throughout Europe. So that is one of the ones that I think we are going to try to do in the next few years.
Yeah, that's a great bucket list. That's a that's a great thing on your bucket list to do that.
Karen knows some of the bros. I introduced her to Billy Tucci. So you got to meet teen sensation Billy Tucci.
I know. Christina and Paul Hammond. I don't know if you know them. But
of course.
They're great.
We talk on Facebook all the time.
I love them. And married their daughter. So cute.
Yep.
So sweet. I did a comic store in Augusta, Georgia, and they took me out to dinner when I came down there. Really sweet.
Oh, that's nice.
Really sweet people. Well, they bought a print from Billy Tucci and brought to me in Fayetteville as a gift, Fayetteville Comic-Con, I think at 2022, and brought me this gift. And so I went over there to Billy's table and I had him sign it. And, because they bought it with his, I guess, print and signature. I had him sign it and took a picture with him. I'm so proud of that picture. And it's a beautiful Batgirl he drew. It's a beautiful
Batgirl. That's cool.
I bet it is. Love Billy's stuff.
Yeah,
Billy's great.
Beautiful. But I first met him in the green room in North Carolina, Fayetteville Comic-Con. I was in the green room with him, and it was Nolan.
Oh, Graham Nolan,
Graham Nolan. Yeah. So we were eating lunch in there, and then they told me who they were. I didn't know. Like I said, I don't know a lot of artists. Now I'm getting to know a lot. But and so I met them. We were talking about Kickstarters and stuff like that. because we were talking about, my next book and stuff. And then when
Mhm.
Paul and Christina brought me that picture, it was really cool that I'd already met him. And I said, okay, I've already met him. I'm going to go get his autograph. And so when we're doing these Comic Cons, as celebrity guests, we also fan geek over people, right? So
Oh,
I
yeah.
fan geeked over him. I had to get him to sign it and took a picture with him and everything, and he's a super nice person. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're both
Billy's a
great.
blast.
Yeah.
Billy's
So
a
was
blast.
Graham. Graham was really sweet too.
I
Oh,
was
yeah.
going to say, Graham, it was his birthday yesterday, right?
Yep.
Ah,
Yep. So happy birthday, Graham. And I
happy
guess since we're
birthday,
here,
Graham.
Joe Bernardo, yes, we took the Madam Web bullet for you. And it's your birthday today. So happy 29th
That's right.
birthday again.
What? He's not a girl. You don't have to say that. He's 54.
Joe is going to be coming out to Heroes Con to visit, and he is actually staying over. He's going to be doing the scene with us all weekend, so he gets to crash at.
Oh, I'm
at
going to be
the,
there too. I'm coming. I'm going to be at Heroes Con again too.
Well,
Yeah.
there you go.
Oh,
Look at that.
Yeah, I'll be
fantastic.
visiting.
So will Billy. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yep. That'll
Yep,
be
we
fun.
will. Yeah, I like
will
Heroes
have a good-
Con. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, Joe told me that when he stays at your place, he's going to smash all your Green Bay stuff into dust. So you might want to hide it.
He knows he would never do that. He said, "Thanks, Andy," and
Mhm.
you're welcome, Joe.
Yep, Frag
And
is going to be there.
Yep, and Frank is going to be there too. Now, guys, it is going to be a blast. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway.
So Dennis, I have to tell you, I like Green Bay too. I like Clay Matthews.
No, he's retired, so you're allowed to like him.
I know he's retired, but when he was playing, my son played that position in football. His name is Clay. So I always loved watching. I saw the Panthers play Green Bay in Charlotte, and the whole time I watched Clay Matthews.
You just like his long, flowing golden locks that he had that came
I
out
know.
from his helmet.
Yeah, and he's a great player, and his name was Clay, and the same position my son played in high school. So he had he was pretty cool. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Everybody except Cowboy and Bear fans love the Packers. So you always have to have a couple of stick in the mud. So
How about you stop smoking pot before we do these live streams? I tell you, don't drug up before a stream because you just start spewing garbage. I mean, now Joe's even spewing garbage. You guys both most smoked up before the stream tonight.
That is so funny. You're so funny, Andy.
Joe, I'll wear your 49er jersey around my waist. How's that?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
No,
I'm just saying,
fine.
be careful of your
We got a
stuff.
whole other season coming up, so you know what? That's all fine. No, I can't wait. We got so many conventions coming up, and Karen, it's going to be awesome because we're going to get to see you at a bunch of them, which would be great to hang out.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It is.
Yeah,
I want to go to the
it'll be a
movies with
good
you
time.
guys one night. Whenever you guys go to those movies, wherever we are in a con, I'd love to go see a movie with you guys.
Oh
Sure.
yeah.
Because I know you
It's like
guys go when there is one because you do your critic thing on it, right?
Well, you know what? What you just have to do is you have to come a day early. Just come because you just show up a day early, and then you can come hang out with us.
Yeah, I will. I mean, because I love movies, and it's hard for me to find people to go to movies because my children, they have their children at night, and then just not everybody likes to go and sit there for 2 or 3 hours. But I do. I love it. It's the only time you can really just get away from your life and also get into a movie, get into the movie and, just get away.
Yeah.
So I love movies. I would love to go. And I promise I won't talk during it.
Well, you're one step better than Andy then. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, you shut your damn mouth. I don't talk to her. If it's a bad movie and we both know it because our tastes are similar, I'll lean over every now and then and crack a joke. But if it's a good movie, I don't talk during it. Now, if you want to talk about people that talk during a movie, that's right. It's when I go with Dennis and his wife, Susie.
Oh.
And then it's like, hey guys, it's not your living room. trying to watch the movie.
She is, admittedly, she is rough to take to the movies because she will sit there. And now you get her and her sister. Like I just took my niece and nephew. We had all gone up to see a movie the other week, and Ordinary Angels. And literally, I was like, shh, shh. The two sisters just blah 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 and talk all through the movie, and I'm like,
Oh my
are
goodness.
you kidding me? Are you kidding me? If I were the people back there, I'd be throwing popcorn at you.
Right. That's
Yeah.
so funny. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you can't help but say it's something, right? But if
Oh,
somebody
yeah, of
talks all the
course.
time, that could be a little annoying. But yeah, sometimes every
Yeah.
now and then it's okay to say something, so
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, it really just depends on what the movie is and stuff. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
if it's obviously if it's a comedy or even a horror movie, there's times where you can sneak a comment in and stuff. So,
yeah, exactly.
for sure.
But it's
Definitely.
fun. But anyway, it's been so much fun with you guys. I always have fun with y'all. So I
Yeah,
would
you got it.
Yeah. So I'll see you in Charlotte on the 24th in Concord. And then
Yep.
in Heroes Con in Charlotte in June.
Father's Day weekend.
Yes,
That's right.
Father's Day weekend. Exactly right. And I had to choose this year because Cosplay World usually has me come to there. It's going to be Jason's third Comic Con Cosplay World. And since I'm the OG cosplayer, we were out there dressed as characters before, characters, it was even such word as cosplay, right? So when I first came out, the cosplayers like, oh my God, there's the OG. And I'm like, yeah, I'm the OG. I'm like, what is OG? So I had to Google it. But yeah, so that's why he had me in the last 2 years. But now with, Heroes Con, I had to tell him, I've got to do Heroes.
Oh, is he doing it the same weekend?
Yes.
Is he insane?
Why would he do that?
Yeah, the last year he did it in August. He did his in August.
Yeah.
And I was able to make it. And then this year, he's doing it the same weekend. And he said, with so many Comic Cons going on, he had to choose one. And of course, this way he gets to stay home because he has a son. So he gets to see his son that weekend. And I understand that.
Well, he's going to be in Concord in March.
I know.
I couldn't believe it. I'm like, wow, you're coming down to Concord? That's cool.
I know.
So,
and I just saw him. He just did, I just got through this past weekend in, my brain, in Florence, South Carolina.
Yeah, he was in Florence. Yeah.
He was in that for the first time too. So it was really cool. And matter of fact, I'm going to tell something here. So I'm in the hotel room and I usually bring my hair dryer with me, right? And I didn't have a hair dryer. So I called downstairs. I said, do you have an extra hair dryer? No, we don't have one. I'm like, oh Lord. So I knew Jason was coming. So I called Jason. I texted him. I said, Jason, are you here at the same hotel? And he said, yeah. I said, do you have a hair dryer I could borrow? This usually doesn't happen. And so he said, sure. He said, what's your room? And he was like 2 doors down and he brought it. And we stood in the hallway and talked,
that's funny.
About this and talked about that. And, I finally, was able to, do all that like at midnight, so I didn't get to sleep until 2 a.m. I blamed him the next day. He's like, wait a minute, you're the one.
Oh my God.
You're the one. I said, yeah, but we talked so long. But it was a lot. It was a good conversation. It was a great meeting. But yeah, it's funny. So, that's one of my Jason Keefe stories. I borrowed his hair dryer. He said, I don't.
Oh, that's too much.
I don't need my hair dryer.
That is something you'll never have to call me for. So, or Dennis for that matter. No offense, big guy, but there's no way you're using a hair dryer for what you got.
I do not use a hair dryer. Nope.
Well, he had one in his hotel room.
Okay.
He didn't bring one. He just had one in his hotel room, and I didn't, and I forgot mine. So
I'm a brush and go kind of guy.
Yeah, he didn't.
Oh, we can tell.
That's funny. But yeah, Jason's a really nice guy. I really love him. He's really cool.
Yeah, Jason's a great dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he and Janine,
I'm glad he's coming to Concord. I mean, I always look forward to seeing him and stuff. So I was really surprised when I saw his name down.
Yeah.
Rick and Dave, they put on a great show, but generally, I assume they're bringing him down as a guest, but maybe he's
Yeah.
just driving down. I don't know.
It's cool.
Yeah, I think they are, and he's going to help with the cosplay contests and stuff. He's going to help promote.
Oh,
do
okay.
something
That
with
makes
it.
sense. Yep,
Yeah.
that makes sense. A little cross promotion there.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that.
So,
Yeah. So
well,
that's
cool.
Joe says he will see you at Heroes. So look at that. You've got some people, and so
Yay!
guys, you can
Yay,
go
yay,
on to
yay.
Amazon and pick up her book, and when you see her, say, or you can buy it, because I know, Karen, you're going to take the books right to the convention.
Yeah, actually, I mean, my book is better than Amazon book. I mean, people do buy off Amazon, but they always bring it to me to sign. And I'll tell everybody, you know, if you buy one off of Amazon, I will not charge you to sign it if you bring it to me, because you went to the trouble
Sure.
of buying it, bringing it, and I'll sign it free of charge. And but the wording is very small compared to mine, you know, the letters. And there's a black line that
Really?
goes across. Yeah, it's really strange. There's a black line that goes across. I want people to buy it because they might not ever see me, you know, or
Yeah.
they can buy it from me directly. I'll be glad to sell it directly. You can you know, send me a message on Facebook or Instagram, or buy it at the show. I always bring them to the show. So
Yeah.
So if you don't want to buy it on Amazon, you can buy it directly from me, you know, if you want to, Joey. So, you know, but whatever. Yes. Get the book. You'll love the story. You'll love it.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we are going to do what we do at the end of a show, which is promote what we're doing. Guys, Kor-Drath the Awakening, the fantastic follow-up to Kor-Drath the Reckoning. The sign-up page is still up. Link in the description below. Please go sign up for the campaign. When you sign up and back the book, when we launch it in April, you will get this fantastic Adriana trading card and front of the line shipping. So when we start shipping the books, boom, you will get it first. So definitely go sign up for that. We've showed the covers before. We'll show them again. We've got the main cover I did with Dan Lawless on colors. And then we've got, of course, the throwback homage cover as well. And guys, we've got Bud Root, not showing it today, but Bud Root did do a cover featuring Adriana. And next week's show, might as well tease it out. Next week, Dan Lawless will be on the show, who colored Bud's cover just like he colored the Lilith cover.
Oh, yeah.
So join us at 3 p.m. next Wednesday so you can see the debut of that variant. And of course, nice and tight, the comic book pencil art of Andy Smith. That's me, coming down soon. Oversized book, 60 pages of beautiful full pencils, showcasing some of my favorite pages that I did for other artists to ink and work over. It's the only way you'll ever get to see them, and it'll be a nice book to have on your bookshelf. Get it as a digital copy too. So definitely check that out. And thank you again, Karen, for joining us today. It was really fun talking to you.
Oh, thank you. It's fun talking to you guys too. But I'm on Instagram, Live Like Batgirl. And on Facebook, it is Karen Whitfield Batgirl. But please follow me, everybody. Then you'll see what shows I'm going to, and maybe I'll come near you all.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Give her a follow. We'll get those links in the description as well, so people can check them out there.
Good.
And
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
And then,
this will be on YouTube. It's going to go on YouTube.
Yep,
it's live. It's on YouTube right now.
Live now,
wow.
and then when we're done, we'll pop in a few extra links. But it will start publishing, and it'll be ready to go probably within 30 minutes.
Oh, good.
Yep,
and
it's
I'll
there.
put it on social medias too. Well, it's nice. It's nice seeing you guys here, and it's nice of all your fans watching us. I really do appreciate it. And you all have a wonderful night, okay? And I'll see you guys real soon.
Yep.
You got it, Karen.
A couple of weeks, Karen.
Bye-bye.
Have a great one.
Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Live long and prosper.
Bye-bye. All right, guys, we are dropping a movie review on Friday morning, as always, but not hitting the theaters this week. Amazon Prime dropped Richie Stanicki, I believe is the name of it. It stars Zac Efron, John Cena. It's a comedy. I already watched it. Dennis is going to watch it. We're going to review it. And stay tuned Friday morning for that.
I was going to say, I already watched Damsel, and then once Andy watches that, then we can review that one as well.
I got a little homework
for this week.
Maybe might be able to fit it in before Friday. If not, maybe over the weekend, and we'll drop an early review next week, and we'll get back to the theaters next Thursday.
Karen is Batgirl. Yes, she is.
That's right. She's a great guest, great person. If you can head out to a show to see her, I highly recommend it. As you can see, she's very nice, very bubbly, great personality. You could see why she was Batgirl, keeping Burt Ward and Adam West in line. And yeah, so next week, guys, 3 p.m., Dan Lawless is the guest, and we will debut Bud Root's variant cover featuring Adriana for this new Kor-Drath. And until then, thank you for joining us at the later time. We had to accommodate Karen, and we'll catch you guys then. Bye-bye, everybody.
Later, everybody.
Nice and Tight, the comic book pencil art of Andy Smith. That's me. This book features 52 pages of some of my favorite full pencils that I did for other companies over the past 2 decades. The raw pencils as they were seen by the inker, and now you can see them for the first time. This book also comes in a digital format so you can practice your inking in your favorite program.
Back it today.